Good morning, everyone. Welcome to News in Motion. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. How is everybody doing today on this That's Happening Tuesday? I see Marion Jackson coming in here through YouTube. If you're coming in here on YouTube or on Facebook still, please let us know how you are doing this morning. To our audio and podcast listeners, we just want to say thank you for turning your dials to Hot 97 News in Motion for That's Happening Tuesday. And also, we want to give a quick shout out and want to say happy belated birthday to our very own Lexi Williams, our youth ambassador. Yesterday was her 16th birthday, y'all, the sweet 16. So, Lexi, we just wanted to give you a happy belated birthday on that. We hope you enjoyed your birthday, your 16th lap around the sun, wherever you want to call it. More life to you and more blessings to you and your family. I see Deborah Johnson coming up in here. We'll see some more people coming up in here. So as we get ready for That's Happening Tuesday, let's also be sure to like the video, share this with a couple of friends, and also like the live stream to get our algorithm up, y'all. So with that being said, let's get this news in motion.
What's up, everyone? It's time for News in Motion. I just love Isaiah giving that lead in the way that he gives it. And we too want to give a shout out to Lexi for her 16th birthday. So happy birthday to you. And then I was scrolling, I catch some of y'all. Pastor Alex Williams, I see him on here. Good morning to him. His daughter's birthday was yesterday. I believe it was yesterday or day before as well. So we just want to keep those shout outs going. Again, you have an opportunity to let us know about your graduates. You need to send that to News in Motion with Gail at News in Motion with Gail at gmail.com. And just give us the name where they're graduating from, and we will get that out here. But we can't do it if we don't know about it. And it's not always I'm scrolling social media to find this information to share. Shout out to Deborah Johnson. Listen, y'all, if you are not tuning into her podcast, I'm asking you to go check out the replays, especially yesterday, and then also make an alert to join her. Yeah, her writing piece, DJ Write from the Heart, has been phenomenal. Seriously, Deborah, I need to get with you later on this week as well, because we need to start writing some legislation samples that we send to Congress to hopefully get on the docket so we could talk about it. And I hear so many of you saying, if I just knew how to write it. Yeah, if y'all check out her podcast, y'all will accomplish that too, because you can use those principles no matter what it is she's talking about for what it is you want to do when it comes to writing. Also, shout out to Kenny Stanley, who's holding it down with sports. It's just so exciting. It's so exciting. Deborah Sneed says the intro still makes her dance. I love it. We dance too, just to let you know. You love my blouse. It's actually a long backseat dress, but thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you so much for that. Y'all are rolling up in here. You're loving the colors. Look, I'm just trying to bring in summer, some way, shape, or form. I'm just trying to bring it in here. All right, y'all. I see Marion Jackson. I see Deborah Johnson. I see Stephanie Burbridge Hall. Latrice Jones, what's up? Robert Holman. Jacqueline's in here. My brother Louis Pryor III is in here. Pastor Alex, I've already shouted him out. Adrian is over here on YouTube. Lori Wallace is in here. Lori, I need the picture of us because that was a cute picture. If you don't want to send the one of the two of us, just send me the one of me and Moses, okay? Let's see. Fred Jones, what's up? What's up? Let me see who else is in here. Jeffrey Allen James is in here. Dr. Antoinette. Y'all are rolling up in here today. Regina Shorts is in here as well. So yes, y'all, happy birthday to Lexi. It is her sweet 16th birthday on yesterday. Let me see. She says she is happy to help. All right. I see Davia coming up in here. Well, thank you, sister. Thank you. All right, y'all. I normally don't share this. And I tried to decide if I wanted to share it or not. And so I'm sharing it. I need y'all's prayers. I have not been in the pulpit preaching in over 3 years, but I will make my return on Sunday. And on Sunday, I was going to tell the people no. And God was like, what? What are you talking about? What's up, Mike Nicholson? So I will make my way back to the pulpit on Sunday for a Women's Day celebration at Second Baptist Church in Columbus, Ohio. So y'all pray for me, no matter where you are, pray for me. I'm a little nervous about it. I'm a little nervous. I have not been in the pulpit in over 3 years. So I'm a little nervous about it. And I just need all the prayers, all the prayers. I'm not one for anxiety, but this week I'm like, why am I freaking out about Sunday? So I've been sitting with God. He's shown me where I'm supposed to go, how I'm supposed to deliver it. I just now need to deliver it. So that's happening. So now you know right here. That's what happens. And you join us on News in Motion. You find out things first. So let's see. Hester's in here. Danielle, what's up? Y'all are rolling up in here today. So I'm just so excited. All right, y'all, we have a lot of news to cover. I see Judy Neal rolling up in here too. Still praying for your husband. Judy, just still praying for your husband. If you're on our podcast platform, want to say good morning to you as well. All right, y'all, in the news, y'all, democracy is under attack. CBS News is reporting a man wielding a metal baseball bat attacked two members of Democratic Representative Gary Conley's staff at his district office in Northern Virginia on yesterday, according to police. Democratic Representative Gary Conley said that on Monday morning, an individual entered his district office armed with a baseball bat and asked for me before committing an act of violence against two members of my staff. The person is now in custody, and the two staffers were in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, but they were released late yesterday. The incident happened shortly before 11 a.m. Monday when the suspect arrived in the office asking for him. The intern, that was her first day. Y'all imagine this, her first day as an intern. She says, well, he's not in, and he proceeds to beat her. Yes, with a metal bat. Other staffers heard all the commotion and they ran to the reception desk to try to assist the intern, and that's when he turned the bat on others. Yeah, I am afraid, this is my own commentary, I'm afraid that January 6, 2021 is what's causing all of this to bubble up. I'm not saying it never existed before then, but January 6 gave people permission to do what they do, and we need to make sure there are laws being written to say this is not okay. Now, y'all, this also follows the assault of Representative Angie Craig, a Minnesota Democrat, in February, and also the attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband last fall. Now, y'all, get these staggering numbers. Last year, the U.S. Capitol Police investigated about 7,500 potential threats against Congress members. We just can't work together. I mean, I'm really these are the questions I've been asking lately, and I don't mind sharing these with you all. When I'm seeing things like this, I'm asking the questions why, and what is it that we just cannot come together? What happened to the line? Let's agree to disagree. We may not agree with each other's policies, but let's be civil, let's be kind, let's work through some things. Let's realize we're not always going to get our way. What's really happening today, y'all? And don't worry about that, because this is kind of troubling within itself. CNN travel reports, and I'm only going to give you a few of them, but I just want you to know what's on these different countries' websites, and I went to verify each one of these. The Australian government warns its citizens to plan to visit the United States that violent crime is more common than in Australia, and gun crime is possible in all areas. Y'all, this is on their website warning their people about if you travel to the United States. It instructs Australians to follow local guidance and instructions. They let them know where the embassies are and so forth, their representatives. They encourage to learn. Get this, y'all. Australian website says they are encouraged to learn active shooter drills if they come to the United States. What? We this is what's on their website, y'all. Canada, just across the bridge, Canada advises its citizens to take normal security precautions when visiting the United States. The Canadian government warns its citizen about crossing the U.S.-Mexico border by car, citing criminal incidents associated with drug trafficking. It tells its citizens to avoid traveling at night at the border. This is including the Canada-U.S. border. It also warns about gang and organized crime-related violence in large urban areas, noting that violent crimes rarely affect tourists, but cautioning travelers to be mindful of their surroundings and resist if robbers threaten them. What? The government also reminds Canadians of frequent mass shootings in the United States. That's on their website. I got another one. The United Kingdom. The United Kingdom would-be visitors to America that incidents of mass shootings can occur, but account for very small percentage of homicide deaths. It also tells its citizens, y'all, that violent crime, including gun crime, rarely involves tourists, but you should take care when traveling in unfamiliar areas. Avoid walking through less traveled areas alone, especially at night. And then let's talk about Germans. Its Ministry of Foreign Affairs tells German citizens that it is easy to obtain guns in the United States, leading to increased use of guns and occasional killing sprees. The number of arms and ammunition purchased has increased significantly during our COVID-19 crisis. It also warns y'all would-be visitors to the U.S. about the possibilities of domestic clashes over racism and police violence, advising them to avoid gathering of people in the vicinity of which violence could possibly occur, among other countries. Y'all, we used to be warned about going to other places. Now people are warning them about coming to us. Mike Nicholson, let me see what he says. What's causing this is how we aren't doing anything but sitting by. Yeah, that's a lot of that is right there. We're just it's becoming a conversation, and that's it. Deborah Johnson saying that is sad. It is sad, y'all. This is happening. This is happening on a larger level, and we should be concerned. But we have what we found out yesterday. We have someone entering in with a metal bat, not even knowing these people, and just become violent. So these countries are saying these things can happen. So they're taking this information and warning them. And we're wondering why there's an economic downturn. There's that. Dr. Antoinette says truth reveals herself in multiple ways. Deborah Johnson, yeah, it's sad state of affairs when we are now a country riddled with violent crime. Yeah, there's a lot that's going on here. And all of this is building up, everyone, to the 2024 elections. We cannot ignore that at all. We cannot ignore that. In other news, the governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, a Democrat, vetoed legislation on Saturday that would have banned nearly all abortions in the state after 12 weeks of pregnancy. The GOP-controlled General Assembly recently gained veto-proof majority in both chambers, but some of those Republicans made campaign promises to protect women's reproductive health, according to Governor Cooper. Now, here's what's interesting. Right now, the GOP is gathering to try to overturn. It's called a supermajority of the veto from the governor. I know you want to know. Gail, tell us, what is that? They can come together and they cannot lose one person. And what they would try to do is get some Democrats to come over. That ain't happening because these rallies, these protests are happening all over. And just recently, 200 businesses in North Carolina stand with the Don't Ban Equality. So a lot of movement. You're going to see a lot that's coming out about that. But the supermajority is they have to have a iron tight stand together, plus at least I believe it's 3 or 4 from the other side to say we're going to veto the veto. It's called a veto supermajority. A lot to unpack there. One day maybe I'll teach on it. But it's very interesting that they went that route because they have GOP people who's told their constituents that they're going to protect the rights of women health in their bodies. So what are they going to do? And now they have businesses. So we got the election that's coming up and people are already starting to campaign for the 2024 election. What are they going to do? This is where we have to take note to see and to watch and to understand how this plays out. This is, I know y'all sick of me, but I'm going to say it again. Here are the reasons. Here's one of the reasons why we go and attend town hall meetings and ask questions. All right, y'all. Also, HuffPost reports that Republican presidential hopeful Nikki Haley said it's not realistic for candidates to commit to a federal abortion ban, saying Republicans who pledge to enact one are not being honest with the American people. So we also have her coming out saying, no, we're not going to do that either. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting. But I want to get to this. There should be outrage, a lot of it. The Washington Post reports that Governor Ron DeSantis signed a bill barring Florida's public colleges from spending money on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Here's his quote. If you look at the way this has actually been implemented across the country, DEI is better viewed as standing for discrimination, exclusion, and indoctrination. DeSantis said at a news conference at the New College of Florida in Sarasota. He goes on to say, and there is no place in our public institutions. This bill says the whole experiment with DEI is coming to an end in the state of Florida. And the people just erupted in applause. And I was like, no, I kept going back. I was like, let me go find the YouTube video. Let me go find the video that has not been doctored in any way. And over again, I must say I was shocked at the words that were coming out of his mouth. Now, y'all, the measure which is signed by Ron DeSantis also would limit how race can be discussed in some general education courses offered by public colleges and universities in Florida. Now, y'all, this move comes amid a larger conservative attack on college DEI programs. Again, all this is coming straight from the Washington Post. So, Florida new law joins legislation in 19 other states. Don't miss this. 19 other states. Now, his is pretty tight, and his is more conservative than the others. And these are where lawmakers are targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, according to a tracking project from the Chronicles of Higher Education. Under this new law, and I went to dig into this to get more information so I have a better understanding, y'all, Florida public colleges are prohibited from spending state or federal money on DEI efforts. Stop right there. How are you going to write a bill for your state and include the federal money? How can you do that? You cannot regulate that, Ron. You can't do that. So how did you slip that in there and the people signed it? Now, these programs often assist colleges in increasing students and faculty diversity. Don't miss that, y'all. This type of program assists colleges in increasing student and faculty diversity. All right, which can, my understanding is race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and others. Okay, just stay with me for a moment. Also, religion, could be economic status to some degree, probably language, worldviews, beliefs. All of that can become a part of that. Now, the bill does not prohibit colleges from spending money on such program if they are required by federal law. The reason I wanted to read all that to you all, because they just contradicted themselves. You first said that this money prohibits from spending state or federal money on DEI efforts, but then you say it does not prohibit colleges from spending money on such programs if they are required by law. This is why I'm trying to encourage all of you, read the entire bill so that you have a better understanding of what's going on and why. It's so important to do that. I hear that some of y'all are saying I'm freezing. I don't know what's going on. We'll see. Hopefully the internet is going to come back soon. But if you miss it, you can always check the replay as well. And I think Isaiah is trying to tell me too, slightly video freezing. So we're going to keep going and hopefully everything will come back, but we're not going to worry about it. Of course it's going to freeze. I'm trying to teach you something that's going to make a big deal, right? So this is what's happening. Now, the law also forbids public colleges from offering general education courses, which are part of required curriculum for all college students. So there's going to be some pushback here, and distort significant historical events, teach identity politics, or based on theories of systemic racism, sexism, and oppression. So we have a lot of that we're trying to unpack here. And we're going to stay tuned and watch this as it continues to unfold. We're going to keep watching this as this continues to unfold. There's a lot here, but y'all, this is why we vote. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. So here's my plug that you're going to hear more and more. If you are not a registered voter, go to www.vote.us. www.vote.us, register to vote. You can also check your voting registration as well to make sure you have not been purged in any way. Yes, Dr. Antoinette, HBCUs will be next for him. So we have to be mindful of what's happening, and we also have to raise the necessary questions. And that is, how can you determine what you're doing with federal money? Federal money is coming from a federal bill, from a federal law, and you have nothing to do with that. Thank you, Latrice, for putting that in there. You have nothing to do with that. So get your hands off of this. Now, just so that you know this, people are saying he's preparing to make his announcement to run for president for 2024. That's why the former guy is riding him pretty tough right now. But listen, do you want that type of person who's a Harvard law graduate, who's finding a way to finagle these types of bills and laws, and in a current fight with Disney? Do you want him as your president? I'm just asking a question. I'm just asking a question. Y'all, the stakes are high here. The stakes are high here. So this is what he also said. DeSantis says students who want to study. I want y'all to hear this, because I was like, he didn't say this. I kept going back. I went to the Florida government website to get the live video, the video that they recorded live, to make sure I heard it correctly and make sure AI did not interfere. He said this: students who want to study niche subjects such as critical race theory ought to look elsewhere. Florida's getting out of the game. He also says, and I quote, if you want to do things like gender comparison, go to Berkeley. What? Help me understand that. So he's been bold enough to put it out there and say the things that he said. Y'all better believe him. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Y'all better believe him. Speaking of Florida, continuing with Ron DeSantis and their many bans and bill signings, Florida teacher investigated after showing children a Disney movie with a gay character. A Florida elementary school teacher is reportedly under investigation by the State Department of Education after she was reported by a student's parent for showing her class a Disney movie that featured a gay character, and that's coming out of HuffPost. This is where we are. I see you, Kim Edmondson. This is where we are. Now, that's not enough to get you upset. Maybe this topic will. Black in America. New York Times is reporting, and it's interesting that no one's really talking about this. I've heard it a few places yesterday evening, but many people are keeping this under wraps while I'm exposing it. So I want all of you to expose it too, even if you tell people just to tune into this portion of News in Motion. The International Revenue Service said on yesterday that Black taxpayers have been far more likely to be audited than any others, and that it is considering changes to its case selection process to address discrimination and how the tax code is enforced. Yeah, y'all heard me. Yeah. The acknowledgement came after the publication of research this year showing that Black taxpayers were disproportionately audited, prompting calls from members of Congress for review to the algorithm that helped determine who is selected. The tax collection agency, this is all coming out of the New York Times, the tax collection agency, which received an $80 billion infusion to funding last year as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, has said it would work to make the system more equitable. Well, we just talking about this now. The ones who probably pay more taxes than anybody else. Seriously. Seriously, so y'all been targeting black people? So we're target by the police. We're target when we're in the retail stores because they think we're stealing. We're being targeted in colleges. We're being our books are being banned, so we're being targeted there. DEI is being targeted. Diversity and student and staff diversity is now being targeted in Florida. So we're just your target, and you wonder why we keep raising our voices, and you wonder why we're over it, and you're wondering why we're protesting, and you're wondering why we will not go sit in a corner and be quiet anymore. We are not our great great grandparents. We are not. We are the children that came from them, and we've learned and we've studied, and we will not be silent. No, you have people who have still not been arrested or dealt with from stealing PPP money. You're not dealing with that. But you're going to target us with you target us with home ownership. You're targeting us with mortgages. Our mortgages cost more than other people. You're targeting us when we go buy cars. You're targeting us over and over and over again. So now this has come out, a report's come out, and we see what's happening. We're being targeted ongoing. Now, they say while there is a need for further research, our initial findings support the conclusion that Black taxpayers may be audited at higher rates than would be expected given their share of the population. And this is Daniel Werfel, the IRS commissioner, wrote in a letter to Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, the Democratic chairman of the Senate Finance Committee. So thank you, Senator Wyden, for getting to the bottom of this. Now, give us the tools to help us as to how do we fight this going forward. What's going to happen? What about people who have had to pay all this money because for whatever reason, are you going to give them that back? Is this we need to add this to reparations or something? Yeah, this is crazy. This is why we vote. I know y'all get sick of me saying that, but this is what News in Motion is all about. Connecting the dots and saying, okay, it's time for us to have conversation. So even now, and we always talk about writing our representatives when we want something to be heard. We need to write into Senator Ron Wyden's office of Oregon and say, thank you. Thank you for this report. Thank you for highlighting it. Thank you. And then add in that writing, what can we do to come alongside you to educate more people? What can we do to become a host site so that we can make sure people are educated in the Black community when it comes to taxes, when it comes to auditing? How do we prepare for audits? What does that look like? That's how we move forward together. Seriously, y'all. Yeah, y'all can tell I'm on a roll this morning because I'm so over it. I'm so over it. Then we have the Durham report that we've heard about for 4 years. The New York Times reporting that the special counsel John Durham accused the FBI of ignoring mitigating facts in a Russian investigation. It did not find evidence of politically motivated misconduct as the former guy had suggested. Now, if you go to Twitter, talking about AI, and if y'all missed that reporting of AI yesterday, check that out on News in Motion. But if you go to Twitter, you would think, because there's a hashtag trending that says Donald Trump was right, or everything he said was right. And so you would believe that this report is saying that what he said was right. No. So people have made this up. And people are now questioning. And I'm like, that's not what it says. So I've been on Twitter also kind of like going back and forth with some people. I said, why don't you read the document? Because it's not saying what you're saying. Yes, it is. Hillary should go to jail. Obama should go to jail. Biden should go to jail. I'm like, no, that's not. He didn't find anything. He didn't find anything. Yeah, the former AG Barr appointed John Durham in 2019 to investigate the origins of the FBI Russia probe. After three and a half, 4 years, the probe ends with some criticism, but no new charges. Now, seriously, it's just made up. And I really believe when I was reading some of it, I believe that John Durham said, I'm so over this and done with this. I'm gonna just find a way to close this and move on with my life. So that's what's happening. But here's what's more important. I don't want y'all to miss this either. Do you know how much money has been spent during these years with this John Durham reporting? This should be an outrage too. Over $6 million of taxpayers' money. Yeah, the taxpayers who the black people are being audited. Okay, the taxpayers are funding this type of stuff. Almost said something else. This type of stuff, and we should say no. No, the taxpayers who aren't the rich and wealthy people. No, the taxpayers are your everyday middle class, lower class, marginalized, oppressed people. Okay, that's who's being taxed. That's who's paying for this. Go back to last week on News in Motion. I was talking about looking at your paycheck, looking at what you submitted to the IRS on or before April, I think it was the 17th, looking at that and really understanding. I think if we as a community would start with our money, if we would take just as much pride in our money as they take in their money, and I'm not talking no racial, split here, but I just want to give y'all facts right here. If we would pay attention to the money that's being removed from our paychecks and the audits, now that this report has come out from the IRS, if we would pay much attention to that and start focusing on our every penny, our every dime and nickel, I think we would have a different perspective and a new mindset when it comes to voting and our understanding of this entire system. Because if we're looking at that and we start asking the questions, okay, over the past year, and this is hypothetical, but over the past year, I put all my paychecks together and I see that about $5,000 is coming out. That's probably low for many people. $5,000 coming out. So out of this 6 million, what's the percentage of my 5,000 went to this, which I'm not one who wanted to have a probe done. But what about people who are billionaires and multimillionaires, and they're not paying any taxes? They're finding a way to finagle and get through. I thought. Side note, and I hope I don't get banned for this. I had this thought one day. What if all of us made a decision? But see, this is where we would have to come together, like back in the day, come together. What if all of us came together and said, I ain't paying taxes. I'm just not paying until this person and this person and that person pays taxes. I'm not going to pay taxes. Y'all, I'm being very radical today because I'm starting to read a lot of this and I'm going back to the money thing. Kim Edmondson, are you on here? I'm going to the money thing and I'm thinking, okay, well, how do we invest? How do we make sure our IRA are intact, 401ks and whatever else? What do we need to do? Who's teaching us where to put the money so our money can grow and we can then file in our taxes certain things? What are we teaching? Even a person who may not make that much money, are we teaching them that $5 a month? That I know it sounds small, but that makes a big difference, y'all. $5 a month. Look at it this way. And these are all my notes, but I've been studying this so I can tell you without reading my notes. Obama's first run presidential election, the money was raised at barbershops, beauty shops, community centers, and so forth. I'm talking $1, $2. That's how the money was going into the millions and the billions of dollars from those small donations. So think that for a moment. If a person is making or giving in $5 a month into an investment that they can write off and so forth. Or we start businesses to write them out. Hester, where are you? I know you in here somewhere. Starting businesses where we're able to write things off. If we had that type, and let's go back to Tulsa. There we are. Yeah, if we go back, I think we've been afraid to go back there because of what happened. We cannot allow fear to stop us. We cannot allow fear to stop us. And we need to grow from there. I hope y'all are listening. I really do hope you are listening because we can change this narrative, y'all. We can change. No, I'm not giving you $6 million. I'm not giving you a portion of my money for $6 million for something that y'all were just saying and no charges were brought and you found no new evidence and nothing happened. What? Don't investigate Hillary Clinton again. We should be raising our voices. Okay, we've learned that Joe Biden didn't take any money from Hunter Biden, and y'all still doing stuff with Hunter Biden. How much money is being spent on that? We need to talk about this. Regina says we as a culture are emotional spenders. We have not invested enough education in investing, estate planning, etc. I agree with you. Hester says, I'm here. Collectively, we can upset the apple cart. I believe that. Kim Edmonds says, right. We need to get our money in the pot. You're absolutely correct for that. Mike Nicholson says, being comfortable is stopping us. Black folks don't want to mess up their money, but we're messing up our money by buying cars and houses and clothes and designer bags and shoes and all this stuff. If imagine if we just said stop. Imagine if, I talked about this I think 2 years ago, if we invested in art. Seriously, y'all, we got to change the mindset. Dr. Antoinette says, how much was given to 45 children? There's that. There's that. In other news, I want to shift this, but I want you to think about this, y'all. I want you to think about this. And all of this comes how we prepare to go into the primaries in early 2024. It's around the corner. I know there's something happening in Ohio, and hopefully we will have Devontae talk about this next Tuesday on a segment of this vote that's happening. I believe it's August the 7th or 8th. If we don't turn out for that, Ohio's in trouble. Seriously, we cannot sit this one out. But we're not even talking about it enough. And I want us to break down an entire bill that when it comes to Ohio, these are the types of things that we're going to do here on News, which we have been doing for a long time. But for some reason, I have a new fire since taking that break in April that I want to expose everything. And I probably need to get some protection or something, but expose everything because there's a lot. And maybe not because people say, oh, there's only a few people tuning in live. Podcast has about 1,000 people on it, so we don't have to worry about her. Well, don't worry about me, but let's get the education and let's make the necessary changes so that we are doing what we're called to do. I want to just talk a moment about Jamie Foxx. His daughter, Corinne Foxx, has been updating the public about her father's health and speaking out against media outlets spreading misinformation. Here's the update. She says, sad to see how the media runs wild. And she wrote this on her Instagram. She goes on to say, my dad has been out of the hospital for weeks recuperating. In fact, he was playing pickleball yesterday. This is when she wrote this on Friday. She goes, thanks for everyone's prayers and support. I'm glad she came out and said, you know what? He's out the hospital. He's doing pretty good. Thank you, Adrian. The Ohio vote is scheduled for August the 8th. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And then, y'all, I want to end with this before I go to the inspirational message. Martha Stewart. Wow. Sports Illustrated has Martha Stewart on the cover at the age of 81, and she looks fabulous. Yeah, I just love everything about. She did not allow what happened to her several years ago take her out the spotlight or make her go crawl underneath a rock. She's coming out, and y'all, she looks absolutely amazing on the cover. I was able to go through and see some of the images online. I'm thinking, go ahead, Martha Stewart, go ahead. 81 years old, y'all, 81. All right, y'all, for the inspirational message, and we're out of here. Stay on your post. Stay on your post. Stay on your post. Y'all, there's a lot that's happening. And we can become frustrated, we can become angry, we can be irritated, but just stay on your post. Keep watch and find other people to share what you have learned. I love, and I did, I'm being honest with y'all. I text Kim Edmondson, I think it was over the weekend, maybe it was Friday. I said, hey, what is SPX? And what is this? And what is that? And should I be moving money in these places? Now, she didn't give me any type of advice like that because I know that's some of that's illegal. But she was like, well, what do you want to do? And she gave me that type of encouragement. Like, okay, what do you want to do with it? And then she says, you can do many things, but you have to determine your game plan and what that looks like. And that was just enough encouragement for me to dig in deeper to find. That's her post. At least that's one of her posts because she's educated in that area. So y'all, when she starts putting out these master classes, and she's doing her coaching and consulting. Book with her. We have a Hester. Hester is not playing, y'all. She's going to have a hotel. She's going to have more than one. And she's encouraging people. Follow her on her social media. She's encouraging people to join her in this pursuit of ownership of hotels, commercial rental property, y'all. Um, it's just amazing. So follow her. She's on her post. Lori, I told y'all yesterday, that girl's phenomenal. If she's not Debbie Allen, ooh, or better, let me just say that. I'm gonna put that out there. That Lori Wallace, I'm not shocked. That's not the right words. I'm like, you did this? Like all of this while doing a gazillion other things? Girl, you gifted beyond gift. She's on her post. She's on her post. If you are not following Davia on her social media, on her Instagram, her videos, y'all, her video, 90 seconds, sometimes it may be 2 or 3 minutes if she's doing it as a live or uploading a full video. Y'all, your whole life can change by just watching one 90-second video. She's on her post. Y'all, so many of you, Deborah Johnson is on her post. She's really digging deep about writing and journaling and the importance of all of that. She's on her post. Y'all, Isaiah is on his post. Isaiah knows his thing. Even when I try to take Isaiah, he's like, no, I'm a videographer, I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker, I do documentary. These are the things that I do. He's on his post. When I try to venture off and do other things on News in Motion, y'all see, I come right back to voting and news headlines. Why? Because I'm on my post. We need to stay on our post and not allow people to dictate where we go or how we get there. Stay on your post. If it's making your heart sing, if it's giving you life, if it's making you exciting, if you're able to sleep at night, you're doing what you've been called to do. Stay on your post. Do not let financial resources stop you. The right people will come along. You keep positioning yourself, you'd be amazed how people will come along. I've been doing this exercise class. It was killer at Westerville Recreation Center. It's fine, but it's killer. Woo, it's killer. So we had a break and then we went back this past month, yesterday. And now I've seen the same person in the class for over 12 weeks. Same person in the class. Yesterday we were laughing because the instructor just like pretty much we were crawling up out of there. Everybody was like taking their time, getting their step back to the room and their weights and everything because she wore us out. So we started a conversation. And we've always there's four of us that get in this one group together, and we just kind of like laugh and encourage each other to keep each other going for an hour. And somehow we've never really talked about what we do because it's not important. We're just trying to lose weight, get healthy, whatever. And so I asked this woman something, and she was telling us that she was on her way to the Tom Joyner cruise, which I didn't even know that he still did that. So I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "What do you do?" We were talking. Y'all, things that I have been thinking about, this woman does all of them. And she said, "When I get back, let's talk." Well, absolutely. Yeah, you'd be amazed. And now here again, 12 weeks. 12 weeks, if it would have been the first week, that wasn't the right time. But now is the time. So y'all be patient with what it is you're wanting to do and how you want to get there. Be able to share with someone, a trusted confidant, where you're going and ask them to join you in prayer. Find that person, y'all. Be on your post and stay on your post and live through that. Whatever it is you want to do. If you've tried something, and y'all know me, I've tried many of things. If you tried something and it didn't work, okay, it didn't work. Don't give a whatever about the naysayers to say she just or he just tries everything. Well, at least you're trying, and they're just sitting there criticizing you when you're working what you're doing. So stay on your post. There's something with staying on your post. Go back to what I said earlier when I just shared all that with you about the first time I'm going back into the pulpit in over 3 years. That's just saying that's scary. But anyway, going back into the pulpit, first time in 3 years. I was like, well, God, isn't that season over? I thought you brought me out the pulpit. He said, I never took you out the pulpit. He said, things changed. I needed you to go this direction, but that's still part of your life. That's still a part of your calling, and you're going back. And I said, do I still know how to do this? And it's just amazing how I wanted to find a way out. And God's like, no, I've called you into that. That's the other thing I want to share with you. I know I'm past time, y'all, but that's the other thing I want to share with you. Stop thinking you're only designed for one thing. Have multiple things. You're gifted. The seasons come and go. Flow with it. Flow with it. It's not that you're schizophrenic or anything like that. There's seasons and times. What is it? There's a season in Ecclesiastes. There's a season and a time for everything. There's a season and time for everything. But whatever that thing is in that season, make sure you stay on your post. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. I think I done said a lot today. We'll be back tomorrow, Lord willing. Y'all know what I say. Stay well, everyone. And remember, make some bold moves and stay on your post. We're out.